Christmas is coming, guys, so check out this celeriac, parsnip and cauliflower cheese recipe. You will not be disappointed. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, guys, so we're doing some banging Christmas sides for you guys to follow and get ready for Christmas. This jumper was Ed's idea, so thank you, Ed. And a big shout out to Darren next door, because yet again, I've had to lend his Christmas jumper. Thanks, Darren next door, and thanks, Ed, for making me look like an idiot. Thank you very much. It's Christmas time. I've got a brilliant Christmas side for you guys. It's a cauliflower cheese, but with celeriac and parsnip. So if you've got plenty of people coming around, this will be a lovely little centerpiece without having to have parsnips coming out, cauliflower cheese coming out. I suppose you almost get it all into one pot. And then I've got some beautiful cheddar cheese, which is going to go into our Mornay sauce. We're going to put a little bit of diced blue cheese in and about it. So it's not too overpowering, you just come across it. Blue cheese and cauliflower and celeriac really works. We're going to throw a little bit of mozzarella in there just to get that nice little, what do you call it nowadays, a cheese pull. So we're going to infuse our milk to make our Mornay. We're going to need a litre of milk for this amount of veg. To get some flavour into that milk, I'm going to use some of the celeriac skins, washed and cleaned. We've got a whole onion which has been quartered, 2 cloves of garlic, a cinnamon stick, 1 star anise, half a nutmeg, 4 cloves and 2 allspice. That goes on the stove to infuse. Be careful, I'm sure it's going to happen to me in a minute, but milk likes to overboil. So we're just warming that through so that the spices kick on, the onion cooks out into it. The idea is, however we flavour that milk, would be the overall flavour with the cheese to our cheese sauce. So with our cheeses, first, we've got to grate our cheddar. Real cheddar, I should say cheddar made in the West Country farmhouse cheddar method, is just a completely different product to the cheddar you buy off the shelf. This is Hafod Cheddar, it's one of my favourites, made in Wales. Really good quality characteristics, got nice salt content. It's just a beautiful cheese. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. One for me. Oh, love that cheese. It's always worth going down to your local cheese shop. I'm lucky, I've got one in Menai Bridge and Cows, shout out. Get 2, because that goes in the sauce. And have to be a cheese board at the end of the night. The beauty about a good cheddar is you get that natural acidity. You get those sort of like farm straw-like flavours. And when it's got good salt content, you get almost like a little crystally crunch within the cheddar. It's next level. So the cheddar is for our sauce with the mozzarella. So we just slice that mozzarella just so it melts evenly. We're going to dice a bit of this blue cheese. Take the top off. Probably only want to use half of this, the rest again, save you a nice little cheese board. Run my knife around the edge, just take a bit of that outside bit off. I normally leave it in, but a lot of people in my household like to remove the rind. Keeping your eye on the milk. I'm going to bring that to the boil. And then another pan. We're going to start off by sweating some leeks and celeriac right down with the butter, which is going to be the base for our cheese sauce. We're going to start sweating these off. So it doesn't have to be too hot yet. We're not trying to caramelise these, we're trying to just sweat them down, release a bit of the moisture out of them, but also get that flavour of these into the Mornay sauce. You'll whack a pinch of salt in there just to help them along. It's going to help withdraw a bit of the moisture out. Again, go easy because that cheddar is going to be quite salty as well. Whack a lid on just to get the heat going. Whilst that's happening, what a lot of people will do is they will pre-blanch the cauliflower before it goes into the cauliflower cheese. I don't want to get rid of much of the moisture out of the cauliflower because obviously that is flavour. So I'm going to wash it off. I'm going to give it a little coating and dusting of flour. So a little pinch of salt in there, a little bit of white pepper. As the moisture out of the cauliflower comes out, it'll attach that little coating of flour and thicken. So you'll have the thick cheese sauce with the thickened cauliflower juice, so it will maintain the thickness and the consistency of the cauliflower cheese so it doesn't go too watery. Okay, so that's boiling nicely, so we can lower that right down now. The longer you allow that milk to infuse as well on a warm temperature, the more you're going to get that flavour of the cinnamon and the spices into the milk, the onion, the garlic, the cloves, the allspice, the star anise. So into here goes our flour. I'm just going to cook that out. Also having the veg in at this point helps with like taking away the lumps out of the flour. So we've mixed that round for about 5 minutes. So now we're just going to slowly add our milk. See, so we're just going to strain it, not getting any, a little bit at a time. We can get that incorporated straight away. A little bit more. full details are definitely in the recipe. So the longer you sort of keep this moving and cooking out, you're going to cook that flour out. So with this sauce, we want this to be quite nice thick sauce, and then the reason being is because we're going to get all that water coming out of the vegetables when it roasts. With the cheddar, we want to use 3/4 of it. The rest is going to go on top later. That goes in. A bit of mozzarella. That in. And then to bring a bit of fresh acidity into it, we want about 100 grams of crème fraîche. So 1, it is Christmas. 2, that'll do it. Don't show the brand, Ed. At this point as well, we want to start tasting. So we'll get all that cheese melted into it. There's plenty of salt. A bit of white pepper. And I'm going to go in with a whole nutmeg. Nothing is more Christmassy than a whole nutmeg. See the way the mozzarella gives it that little stringiness? What we're going to do is layer our vegetables on the base. So then we're just going to go literally on top with the cheese sauce. As the vegetables cook and moisture's released, it's going to meld into that cheese sauce, add into the sauce, thinning it out a little bit, but allowing the sauce to cover the whole baking tray. So now we've built that up, we're going to finish it off by burying some of the diced blue cheese into it. And then we're going to whack that in the oven at about 170. You want to keep this bit quite loose, a bit tight around the edges, so it doesn't stick to the top. That goes 160, 45 minutes in the oven for the first part. Ho ho hot. Smells good, smells good. Don't drop it. So whack that oven up to 220. The sauce is still nice and thick and it's not too watery. That just shows the power of just dusting with that little bit of flour. I dusted with a raw flour. The best way to do it, which I probably should have done it, is by baking your flour first and roasting it. That really cooks it out. And then you add that into your raw vegetables then. But this will be completely fine. A little bit of grated cheese. Again, you can use Parmesan if you want, or Pecorino in this, but I like to keep it British, sticking to the Welsh Cheddar. I'm going to whack that back in the oven at 200 degrees and I'm going to keep my eye on it. I only want to get that nice crusty golden top. First comments will be, why doesn't he use them oven gloves? Because I hate oven gloves. No one uses oven gloves in the kitchen, they're not practical at all. I'm going to check that after 10 minutes. I'm assuming it needs 20 though. Looking good. Look at that. Sexy wobble. Right guys, that's exactly how you want it. Don't eat it yet. This wants a good half an hour, even to an hour to rest. And then that gives you time to have your roast potatoes in the oven. Why not do it the day before? Get it to this point, bit of foil on top, back in the oven for 20 minutes, reheat it through, and Bob's your uncle. Is he? He is actually my uncle. Shout out Uncle Bob and your cauliflower cheese. Right, let's crack on. Christmas is all about getting all the trimmings done. So whilst that's resting, you need your sprouts. Join us next week for this delicious sprout recipe. I'm going to convert you guys. Okay guys, so it's had time to rest. We left it for about an hour just to chill out and relax. See? Who doesn't love cauliflower cheese, eh? Who doesn't love cauliflower, celeriac and parsnip cheese, eh? What's really interesting is you get this little slight anise coming from the celeriac. Then you've got the cauliflower flavour coming through. I can taste the parsnip as well, but I haven't got one on my plate, which is really interesting. The flavours have started to meld together nicely. It's not too salty, it's not too heavy. Because if you think of all the other elements, you're going to have your stuffing, your pigs and blankets. They're all going to be bringing a lot of salt characteristics into play. You know, my favourite bits are always these like crusty little side bits. Oh, look at that bit there. Oh, it's the best bit. Okay guys, this is going to be great this Christmas. But next week, join us again because we've got the addition of a lovely one-pot wonder of sprouts, bacon, broccoli and cabbage. Tune in.